people? I'm Berk Hawk, and today I'm joined by...
Mike Robbins.
And Mike, what are you a part of?
What am I a part of? I'm in a country duo called Autumn Hill.
Autumn Hill. And what is Autumn Hill? Like, where did the name Autumn Hill come from?
Honestly, I lived on Autumn Hill.
Okay.
That was all it was. I know it's silly, but I would walk my dog up and down, and I just the name inspired me. I thought it would really, you know what? Honestly, I thought it was going to be a song.
Yeah,
I thought
okay.
it just sounded great, and it sort of fit the music Teray and I were doing. So yeah, I brought it in one day, and everybody's like, "Yes, Autumn Hill."
That's kind of like one of those things when you're a kid. You're like, pick the street you lived on.
Yeah.
Your first cat, and your mother's maiden name, and that's your band name.
And that's the band name. There you go.
You just scratch the other two.
No.
Cool. So,
sorry, Mom.
Yeah. So you guys have been nominated for Junos 2 times, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
In which categories? Well, it's country, obviously, but was...
Yeah, and Best New Artist.
And
Rising, Best New Artist.
In the country field, because most of our viewers aren't familiar,
Yeah.
maybe with country.
Sure.
Is it a big deal to win these awards?
Oh my God! It's well, I mean, the Juno.
Yeah,
I mean, you
obviously.
grow up dreaming, to have your music recognized at that level. I mean, a nationally, and then B by a show and an award that is held with such high esteem, in Canada. It's an incredible thing.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So people out there that are on the voting committee, a few more votes this way, right? Yeah. He's not saying anything. A few more votes this way. So how did the band come to be? Because I know she's from the West Coast.
She's from Calgary. I'm
Yep.
from Toronto. We were both signed to the same record label, Wax Records.
Yep.
And they just thought we would have this really cool chemistry, so they sent me an email saying, you guys should meet, you should write.
Yep.
And the very first time we sat down, we wrote the title track to the first record.
Cool.
And honestly, from then, it just sort of spiraled into this album of duets of filled
Did
with
you think
both
at
of
first
our-
maybe potentially you were writing for her or like?
I think we were just writing to write.
Yeah. See what
yeah,
comes of
it was definitely like the idea of like let's try writing. Yeah, I think it was like, let's try writing to write, but there was, Teray was singing and I was putting in harmonies, and then the next thing you know, we were like, well, hold on, this really interesting thing happens when Teray and I write,
Yep.
where you get the male and the female perspective.
For sure, it's really neat. It's really neat.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
We always joke it's like a 360 bird's eye view of a story.
Because most of the time, artists will have to go out and maybe a song featuring someone to get that perspective.
Sure, yeah.
But you guys have that perspective
In house.
Yeah, all the time.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean that's what happened, right? In that session, we started writing "Favorite Mistake," which is a bit of a heartbreak song, that kind of thing. And suddenly, when we got to the second verse, we were like, "Well, hold on, we can flip this," and it just opened up, so many more, doors and options to go down, creative avenues to go.
What
down.
did the label think at that point? Like, yes.
You know what? It
We've
was
seen
a
it.
Christmas party actually.
Yeah.
So we'd written the song, and then I think maybe a month later, a few weeks later, we were at the label Christmas party.
Yep.
And the party sort of like died down. People were eating, and there was a piano and a guitar, and we just started jamming. And the next thing you know, we turned around, and there was a room full of people. Just
That's a cool
and that's
feeling.
when we were sort of like, oh, this is something special. This is something, and we realized that this was the sound I think we were both kind of chasing. We both wanted to make. So it was amazing. Serendipitous.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
So you guys have toured the country. You've gone down through the states.
It's been unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada. What can you say? It's the most beautiful place. We were in Nanaimo yesterday or 2 days ago. Sorry, doing Sunfest, and we were playing this show, and there's mountains, on both sides of the
Super
stage, and it was unbelievable.
And you're able to take that in because a lot of the times,
yeah.
like you're just flying in, flying out.
No, we got there a couple hours early. We did a sound check, and you walk on stage, and there's a minute of like, wow, look where we are. It was unbelievable. The crowd was amazing. The scenery was incredible. It was great.
Well, just to give you a little bit, I was telling a bunch of my friends that are girls about you guys, and they're like, "Oh my God, I have to come with you." You know how many people I could have had with me right here?
Bring them along.
Could have had an autograph session for sure.
Well, that's great, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So, what's in store for you guys to come?
And, album 3.
Yeah.
And it's
But no
a whirlwind.
due date. That's gonna
No due date. We
aim for end of year next year.
Honestly, I don't know. We're
No
just
pressure.
writing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we the reception has been so incredible, and we're so fortunate, with where we are right now in Anchor and the record, and that we just decided, let's live in the moment. And the summer's been amazing. We've just been doing festivals like crazy and touring around Canada.
Well, that's a dream come true, right?
Exactly. So now, now we're dusting off the old writing hat, and no, we've been writing the whole way through. But now I think that it's we got a month left, in the summer, and then we're gonna start really sort of bunkering down and finishing.
Between the two of you, is there any influences that are quite different? Or do you both
quite different?
Come from the same kind of realm?
Well, honestly, that's what's interesting. There was a ton of similarities.
Okay.
Country, obviously, a little bit of pop, a lot of classic rock from my side.
That's what I was asking. My next question was like, what are some rock bands you guys are into, or yourself?
Well, I grew up in a Beatle family,
Okay.
where the Beatles.
Harmonies.
Hey, they're the best.
Yeah.
Come on. I grew up with classic rock. So I guess Zeppelin, Floyd, the Beatles, so the big ones.
Yep.
What would be more obscure? There's definitely some '90s stuff.
Yep.
The hip.
Oh, yeah,
We're
for sure,
Canadian,
for sure. And what was
Pearl Jam.
the change? Like, let's go from the classic rock, and I'm going.
No, it
country.
was always there. It was always there. I
there?
grew up in a very musical household,
Yep.
and my dad collected vintage albums and all
Yep.
those sorts of things. So you'd get a lot of the Beatles, but you also got a lot of Johnny Cash.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there was this focus on guitar, and it was
Yep.
like Hendrix and Clapton, of course, but the people that I really fell in love with were like Vince Gill and Brett Mason, and of course like Keith Urban and Brad Paisley. The pickers in country are just phenomenal,
Yeah.
and Guthrie Trapp, and I just became so enamored with that music. But honestly, even more than that, it's the storytelling. It was the lyrics, bringing it back to what we were doing.
Yep.
The focus on creating this story and this visual, this thing where you could see the male and the female perspective. And the focus in country music has always been on these lyrics that bring the stories to life.
But I think people can see through that though. Like, you'll put the cookie cutter pop stuff with it has its place for sure. We all like to have a few pops and dance around.
Sure.
But it's not the lasting song that's gonna hold your heart and you're gonna remember that exact moment.
There's something just incredible about country music and the stories, and I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You said Johnny Cash. I was sold. I was like,
oh, okay.
That's one of my favorites. To me, he's not only just a country artist. He paved the way for a lot of
he's an icon.
The rock and the heavy rock and the all black and the attitude.
Absolutely.
Like, he's all over.
He's just the coolest.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not. He's got. I mean, a lot of people draw influences from Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Yeah.
He's the coolest. Man in black, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So if our people at home want to find out more information about you guys, what can they do?
Super easy. Autumn Hill Music, right across the board. So the website's autumnhillmusic.com. Facebook is Autumn Hill Music. Instagram, Twitter.
Nice,
it's
you
all
got
Autumn
it all.
Hill Music. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Is there anything else you want to tell the good people at home, or?
We got a brand new single out right now. It's called "Good Night for Going Nowhere," and it's we took a lot of the experiences and things that we learned from the first record and touring the first record, and wanted to apply them to Anchor, to making the second record. And that song specifically was like, we have a lot of heartbreak songs, but we're going to be out all summer. We're going to be playing festivals, and we wanted to do something that was just fun and inclusive. And that's that song. It's just a big backyard party with your friends, and
so
it's
on
been great.
Well, I'll ask another question.
Sure, yeah.
On Anchor, is there any song that resonates with you the most? Is there anyone
that's
that's
a great
like,
question.
This is my jam. This is me.
Wow, that's a what they're all like. They're all special,
sure.
right? And they're all stories that come from us. For me, I would say I have a place in my heart for August in the Rain.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a slower jam. It's you get to stretch my legs out a little bit, guitar playing wise, and that sort of stuff. But it's I wanted to write a song that was genuinely about the good in falling in love. We'd written a lot of heartbreak songs, and I wanted to write something. There was this moment, I was living in Nashville, where everything in life felt okay, which is so rare in itself,
for
right?
Sure.
And I wanted to write a song that was representative of that had a warmth to it, and had meaning to it, had a love song story about it, and that was that song.
But that's kind of like the news. There's never any good news. Like you're trying to
It seems more and more
I'm
rare.
listening to the news. I'm like, tell me something good. Somebody helped an old lady cross the street, or somebody donated some money to a charity.
There's a lot of good in this world.
There definitely is. They just need to report on it.
And that's honestly, and that's what that song is for me.
Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure, man.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Peace out, party people. Check out Autumn Hill.